Hey, what's up everybody? Commander Radix here, bringing you another episode of Transformers Lore. Well, ladies and gentlemen, are you hyped for how much Transformers lore content has been coming out on this channel lately? Quite a lot of Transformers lore has been coming out. I hope you guys are enjoying it. Let me know if you're enjoying the Transformers content that's having a sort of renaissance on this channel. Let me know in the comments below. And we talked about quite a few different things in Transformers lore. We've talked about characters, concepts, themes, right? We talked about the horrifying D-Void, the implications behind the Unicronian minicons, the just sense of awe when it comes to the Chrome Architect. But there are some things that exist in Transformers lore that is surprisingly detailed, and yet nothing is ever done with it. I call these things like world-building lore bits that are definitely going to be used more by fanfic writers than the actual writers. And you know what? I appreciate that. I appreciate the parts of Transformers lore where they put in the effort to put in some world-building that was never going to show up in the Transformers media. And one of those things, ladies and gentlemen, is the Gregorian calendar. The Gregorian calendar is the calendar used by the Cybertronians in quite a few universes, though it's not necessarily the one used by all universes in the multiverse, but the Gregorian calendar is the only calendar we have in, like, detail, so you can sort of default to it as the Cybertronian calendar. You know, in Transformers, we hear a lot of talk about stellar cycles and solar cycles and all that stuff, but we don't really know what that means, and sometimes measurements are different depending on the universe. We might do an episode on measurements and how measurements are different in the Transformer universe by universe, but the Gregorian calendar, I think, is the most well-developed measurement of time, at least on the scale of day, month, year, for Transformers. So what is the Gregorian calendar? How do we go through this? Well, just like, you know, if we want to learn about our human calendar today, we have to start with what a day is. We start with the concept of the solar cycle. A solar cycle is the length of time it takes for Cybertron to complete a rotation on its axis, which means it's the equivalent of a Cybertronian day. Now, unlike Earth, how we divide time, the Cybertronians divide their weeks into 10 days. Not 7, but 10. And those 7 days have names. Names that I have literally never heard used in the fiction before. And here... Jesus. And here we have the 10 named days in the Gregorian calendar. This is written in my Notion page, which is why all of them are marked with misspelling errors. But we have Dillisol, Gerbasol, Davisol, Malixol, Marksol, Glutsol, Robisol, Wolsol, Dixosol, and Wisesol. You can kind of see that sol coming from the Latin word sol, the sun, right? So it's a sun, right? It's a day, and then we have the names for it here. Out of a universe, these names are all basically coming from Transformers writers on different episodes of the movie, of the G1 cartoon, Beast Wars cartoon, stuff like that. But 10 of these sols, 10 of these days, 10 of these solar cycles forms one decacycle. So their equivalent version of a week is a decacycle. Now, in addition to solar cycles and decacycles, we also have the orbital cycle. The orbital cycle is the length of time it takes Cybertron's largest moon to orbit around Cybertron in a year. Orbital cycles, which are the equivalent of human months, is 32 solar cycles long. So unlike human months, which take around, you know, anywhere between 28 to 31 days to complete, a Cybertronian orbital cycle takes 32 solar cycles to complete. And there are 10 orbital cycles. Unlike the human 12, on Cybertron there are 10, and once those 10 orbital cycles are complete, you have entered a new stellar cycle. This is a year. By the way, I couldn't find any information about how long a solar cycle is, so we don't really know how long the Cybertronian day is. That would help us, you know, sort of calculate time, right? But we don't have that. And here we have the list of orbital cycles, their equivalent days, what sort of concept they're associated with, and their zodiac sign in the Cybertronian zodiac, which is something we should go into more detail in its own video. Again, a very detailed listing here that really is only going to be used by fans for world building, and really isn't going to show up in the actual Transformers fiction. And also this is in my Notion, so again, we have the red line. But we have Ferunion, which is roughly for Earth time, February 26th to April 3rd, which is associated with trickery. Its zodiac sign is Zal, which is a very mysterious Cybertronian deity figure. We'll talk about him in another video, because there's a lot to that. Then we have Navitanion, which is April 4th to May 9th, associated with time, and its zodiac sign is the Crone Architect, who we had the Transformers lore video released relatively recently. Primanion is May 10th to June 15th, associated with hunger, and its zodiac sign is the Void. The Void is the absence of anything, of any being, which is usually resultant of Unicron consuming a universe. Then we have Inritunion, which is June 16th to July 21st, which is the time period I am recording this on, which is associated with the Hunter, and its zodiac sign is Shakaract. We talked about Shakaract a little bit in the Crone Architect video. I think in the Wings universe, Shakaract's name before he became Shakaract was Hunter or something like that, if I'm remembering correctly. He's the sort of Predacon that is, destined to bring about the end of the world unless the Cybertronians can defeat him. Then we have Chocanion, July 22nd to August 27th, associated with Unity, and its zodiac sign is the One. By the way, my birthday falls in this range, so my Cybertronian zodiac sign is the One, which I'm okay with that. I like that. Then we have Zetkanion, August 28th to October 2nd, associated with Combination, and its zodiac sign is Serpentor, who is the sort of Cybertronian version of Serpentor's memory and life being uploaded into a Cybertronian body, kinda. Then we have Botanion, October 3rd to November 9th, represents growth, and its sign is Yggdrasil. This is the world tree, specifically that grew on Gaia, that was present in Beast Wars 2nd, at least in the manga. We have Rokunion, November 10th to December 14th, associated with secrets. Its zodiac sign is the key to Vector Sigma, the Quintessonian artifact used to access Primus's creative powers. Then we have Heptanion, December 15th to January 20th, associated with wisdom, and its zodiac sign is the Golden Disc, the message that Earth sent out into the future or not into the future, but into space to let aliens know about them. Megatron also engraved his plans to send his descendants back in time to kill Optimus Prime to win the Great War on the Golden Disc. Then we have Banion, which is January 21st to February 25th, bringing us peace, and it's associated with Aquarius, who is like a shattered glass quintesson. What is your Cybertronian zodiac sign? Let me know in the comments below. So to wrap up, we have Cybertron orbiting the sun Hadin. It takes Cybertron 1 stellar cycle to orbit around Hadin. 1 stellar cycle is 10 orbital cycles. Ferunion, Navitanion, Primanion, Inritunion, Chocanion, Zetkanion, Botanion, Rokunion, Heptanion, and Banneon. 1 orbital cycle is about 32 solar cycles, which is how long it takes the planet Cybertron to orbit around its axis, or to rotate around its axis. An orbital cycle is the amount of solar cycles you need to have the largest moon of Cybertron go completely around Cybertron. And there are about 10 solar cycles in 1 decacycle, that is a week. But that is the Gregorian calendar, sort of a play on words on the Gregorian calendar. Not much here, but I wanted to highlight a concept, something that exists in Transformers lore that I don't think a lot of people know. A lot of Transformers fans I don't think know about this calendar. So, hopefully this calendar inspires you to, if you're working on any piece of fiction, to create a calendar system for that world. Or if you're writing any sort of Transformers fanfic, maybe you can include it in there. I definitely want to go into more detail on the Cybertronian zodiac, though, at some point. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you follow me on all the social media. Links are in the description. If you're interested in real-life lore and real-life history, consider subscribing to my second channel where we talk about real-life lore. Link is in the description. That is Radix the Lore Keeper. And have a great day, ladies and gentlemen.